Hello and welcome into your Stanley Cup Finals Game 1 review, your Bruins fan review. And the Bruins get it done in Game 1, winning 4-2, going down 2-0 in the second period to come back and score 4 unanswered goals to go up 1-0 in the series and keep their home ice advantage, which is big in this series. If you can tell one thing from this game, I think it's that you could see that the Bruins are pretty rusty early on, and as things got going, they started to have their way with the Blues. Now, it's only a one-game sample size, but coming out of this game, I feel pretty good as a Bruins fan. Now, if you look at the picture on the far right, you can see that I went to the Bruins Fan Fest thing that was in the Boston City Plaza. Took the train in. Me and about 5 or 6 friends went. Awesome experience. Chase Rice, country singer, was there, and Little Nas X, who sings Old Town Road, and nothing else. He was literally on the stage for 2 minutes, then he dipped. That was kind of funny to me. Pretty fun event, though. If I could critique one thing about the event, because I gotta critique everything. There was about 2 food trucks in there for about a few thousand people. It felt, I might be overstating that number, but it was at least 1,000 people, maybe 2,000. The line for the burger truck was literally like 80 people deep. I just drank more beer instead because the line for beer was a lot more shorter, and there was a lot more beer stands. $10 a beer though, kind of steep in my opinion. But, when you're trapped in a fenced-in area like that, you got to do what you got to do. And great time, and definitely worth the experience. And I was a lot more into the game than I probably would have been had I not been there. Just the atmosphere, it's like going to a game without going to a game, kind of. Still would have been extremely into it on my couch, but just felt more into it and more a part of it being there. Awesome experience. If you can get up there for game 2, 3, 4, or 5, or however long the series goes, I believe they're doing it for all the games. You should definitely look into that. Go with some friends. You'll have a great time. That being said, you'll also have an even better time if the Bruins win and have a comeback like they did last night. Now, 2 news articles that the Bruins posted on their Twitter. That's how I get a lot of news feed stuff out of the Bruins, because everything's on Twitter with the Bruins. He's been doing it all year. That line got us going. And this is talking about the 4th line. And this is one thing the Bruins pride themselves on year after year. When the Bruins are good, usually it's the depth players. And the second article also has to do with that. Connor Clifton, Sean Kuraly. If I had to do players of the game, top 3, it would probably be Kuraly 1, Clifton 2, and then if I had to give one to a third player, it'd probably be Braden Shen of the Blues at 3rd. Can't be too biased here, but he had a good game for them. But what Clifton has brought to the back end, and he's someone, as you can see in this, playing as a wing at the Prospects Challenge last fall. Just think about how far this guy's come. He's a young guy, south of 25 years old. Really came out of nowhere. He's on no one's mind as a guy who would be cemented in the top 6, because right now he is cemented in the top 6. You are not taking out Connor Clifton at this point. You cannot. He brings too much to the table as a third pairing defenseman. He's extremely quick. He's really reliable. And the way the Bruins have used him, they use him in the right situations, which is why he's so effective. And as he keeps playing, he's only getting better. Every time you see Clifton, he just looks a little better, or at least I've thought that myself. And Kuraly's been doing this for a while now, since the series against Ottawa 2 years ago, 2016. He's just been such a mainstay, and he's someone so vital to the core, the depth core, I should say. But man, what games from them. So going into the game, obviously I'm a nervous person. When I watch these games, there's nerves. I'm going to this event. I was more nervous than excited. All my friends were hyped to go to this event, to see the concert, see the game. I was nervous. That's just the way I roll. That's the way I feel about this type of stuff. It's not about fun and games. It's about winning. That's what it is. And 30 seconds into the game, David Pastrnak with a one-timer that almost squeaks by Binnington. And I thought, whoa, maybe the floodgates are going to be open. Maybe this kid is a little shook. I'm pretty sure my friend Steve said, I'm not sure he's ready for this moment, which you're a young guy, Jordan Binnington, first season. He's played less than, I want to say, 50 games career in the NHL. Actually, I think now in the postseason he's over that. But you get the point. Very inexperienced goaltender who's been fantastic for the Blues. But you wonder, is the moment too big for him? And right after this, Kuraly would get a penalty. And this is where I felt like the momentum kind of shifted in the first period. it really just felt that way. He tripped Braden Shen of all people, and Shen would go on to have a great game. Shen would get a rebound in the slot and would take a wrister that would beat Tuukka Rask high blocker side. Really not much else to say here. Bruins get pinned in their own zone. I believe the puck hit off of Schwartz and went up to Shen, who then takes it. He has got acres of space, and he beats Rask high blocker side. Rask not playing aggressive. I thought Rask should have been a little more aggressive there. Not Tuukka's best moment there. And Shen, as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, was absolutely pumped to get his team on the board here, and took the air right out of the City Plaza, and it really just stung like right away, because you want to get that first goal. You're at home, and I was kind of thinking, man, is it really going to be this way again like it was in the first two series? No, the first series against Toronto, where he lost home ice advantage right off the bat. And yeah. One thing you gotta note is the Bruins got 2 power plays late in this period. One on David Perron, one on Robert Thomas. Marcus Johansson, who got top 3, he got a star of the game. Didn't get a single point, but if you were watching this game, you were noticing Marcus Johansson was in the zone, looking like Magic Johansson, and just carving up Blues players, really. And it was kind of insane. I was really surprised he didn't get a point with how he played. He looked extremely well, and he was having his way. He had, on the power play, taken in little zone entry, carves in between 2 Blues defenders, hits the post. The whole City Plaza thought he had scored, but he had just hit the post. Everyone reacted like it was a goal, and then play continued. We were all confused. I thought it went in. I really thought it went in. I celebrated like it went in, but didn't go in, and nothing went in on those 2 power plays. You go to the second period. 1 minute in, Poster would bring the puck into his own zone. And as you can see in the top right in the middle here, he just drops in the zone, goes for a reverse, but no one is there. I think he thought Chara was going to trailer, but he was wrong. He didn't need to do the reverse at that time. Very iffy play by him to even think that. And Pasternak, he's very good offensively, but he does do some head-scratching plays like this sometimes. Braden Shen, being the ultimate opportunist here, goes behind the net to get the free puck, passes it to Tarasenko, who is wide open in the slot. Charlie McAvoy tries to close the gap, but Tarasenko is a lethal sniper in this league and beats Rask high blocker side again. The Blues were picking on that high blocker side, but in fairness to Tuukka, there were point-blank chances that not many goalies would save. I don't think any goalie in the league would save those. But maybe the first one if they're a little more aggressive, but still, I mean, from the slot top corner, hard to save, hard to blame a goalie there. You really have to blame David Pastrnak and maybe Chara a little for lack of communication, because when you're out there, you need to talk, you need to know where your guys are going to be, and you have to think there was a lack of communication between the two and a little bit of stupidity on Pasta's part there. 2 minutes later, the Bees on a 3-on-2 breakout, and my player of the game, Sean Crowley, taking into the zone. And as you can see in the bottom right, he throws it back post to Clifton. Clifton tips it, as you can see in the top right. Puck floats past Bennington. And man, really good breakout here by the Bruins. Fourth line, Achari, Corrali, and Clifton. And Clifton gets a stick on the ice, and it just floats up and past Bennington. And this was about, I want to say, let me look right here. This was about... Why is it? I'm on the Carolina game. What am I doing? Why is it on the Carolina game? This was a good 1 minute and 16 seconds after the Tarasenko goal, which really shows you how much this response really flipped momentum. And the Bruins in this game, I believe shots were 8-8 in the first period. In this period, second period, after the Tarasenko goal, there really wasn't a lot for the Blues. This was by far one of the worst periods I've seen a team play this playoffs, and that's saying something considering they actually scored a goal in this period. But it was completely one-sided after that Tarasenko goal. 18-3 shots in a period is insane, and it looked that way on the ice too. And I was actually starting to feel confident after this point, because not a little bit later the Bruins would get on the board again, and there would be power play. I believe there would be 2 power plays. Yep, there would be 2 power plays. Joel Edmondson would cross-check David Backes in the face, and I think Joel Edmondson thought David Backes was faking, but he clearly cross-checked him in the face. Nothing doing on that power play. Then Oscar Sundqvist with another stupid penalty. These were really stupid penalties. Blues fans might complain about the referees. I complain about your players being dumbasses because these are dumb plays to do. And he just checks Clifton from behind, Sundqvist, that is. And on the power play, it's not really going that well. But then as you can see in the bottom right picture there, McAvoy just takes it straight up Pietrangelo, takes a low, hard shot that beats Binnington under the glove, below the left leg pad. And if I'm a Blues fan, I'm saying my goalie should make that save. That's my opinion on this. This is a great run. This is a great rush into the zone by Charlie McAvoy to get the puck on net, because sometimes that's all you gotta do. But I think Jordan Binnington needs to make this save, and ultimately this ties the game 2-2. Power play goal for Charlie McAvoy, his second goal of the playoffs. And if you were a Blues fan, you were probably pretty nervous because your team looked like trash this period. You conceded 2 goals in 10 minutes there, blowing your lead that you built in the first, and you guys just looked incompetent. And yeah, it was really kind of shocking how much the game changed from the first period to the second. I knew the Bruins weren't playing their best in the first. I didn't expect to get their best in the second. Like, this was one of the best periods the Bruins have played this playoffs, and they were absolutely dominating the Blues. 5 minutes in, Char would keep the puck in the zone. 5 minutes into the third, Char would keep the puck in the zone, as you can see in the top right-hand corner. Throws it on the net. Noel Acciari would get the puck in front, swing it around to Sean Kuraly. As you can see in the bottom left picture, Sean Kuraly goes skate to stick. This guy is so skilled and so gritty. He's literally the perfect bottom six forward. Gets it to the stick and shoves it past Binnington. Such a quick move, too. It's such a slick, quick movement by Sean Kuraly to go skate to stick and in. And Joel Edmondson just can't do anything about it there. And the Bruins would go up 3-2. And just domination from the Bruins. 12-9 shots this period. But I honestly, as nervous as I was, I never really felt like the Bruins lost control of this period. In this period, I believe there were 2 power plays. Yep, one for the Blues, which was David Krejci illegal check to Sammy Blais that happened after this goal, and I thought it was kind of a bad call. I thought Blais kind of fell into Krejci more than Krejci hit him. Nonetheless, the Bruins would be on the penalty kill, and then on the penalty kill, this is something Blues fans can have a little bit of can be upset about, and justifiably so, is Bozak gets his stick slashed right out of his hands. I believe Char did it. Breaks his stick, and that should be a penalty. The Bruins get away with that there. Bruins would kill off the penalty, and there would be really no more grade A opportunities for St. Louis, or really opportunities where I thought St. Louis would put it away. After this, you got to mention the Torrey Krug hit, and a lot of people think it's a charge. I don't think it's a charge. It's really just him hustling into the offensive zone to get up into the play, him seeing an opportunity to hit a guy, and him taking the opportunity. He's not charging from one zone to the other, looking for the hit on Robert Thomas. If anything, it looks like he's looking at David Perron to give him trash talk him, and then he sees Perron's getting off the ice. He goes into the zone still with a ton of speed, sees Robert Thomas coming. The puck is in Robert Thomas's vicinity, and he really smacks Robert Thomas. And it's a clean hit, in my opinion, all day clean hit. If it happened to a Bruins player, I wouldn't be complaining about it. And after this, Binnington would get pulled. Marchand would put in the empty netter from where you can see in the bottom left. Bruins celebrate the 4-2 victory. And yeah, it's a really, really good result for the Bruins, and a really unpromising first period turned into a game that just looked dominated by the Bruins. It was a completely different game after the first period. If you watched the first period and turned it off and then saw the result, you would have been like, what happened? Because it just really didn't feel like it was going to be the Bruins' night after the first, and then the second and third, it just felt like they were dominating. It didn't even feel like St. Louis belonged in the second and third, kind of like it didn't feel like the Bruins were ready for the first. Obviously, it is just one game, and the sample size is so small. I didn't make a preview video, but if I did, and I had to make a prediction, this series is going at least 6 games, in my opinion. Just the way the two teams play, the depth that both teams have. They're both solid defensively. Both goalies, I think, are going to have better days than today. But coming into game 1 after the type of rest that these two teams had, you had to have a feeling that there were going to be some stupid mistakes, like the David Pastrnak reverse to Braden Shen down low. Some dumb penalties. It's going to happen when you're when you get some rest and you get some time off, because your head's not mentally into it as it would be if you're playing a game every other night and all that. So I think some decision making probably changes going forward. I think every game you're going to see it a little more tighter and a little bit more harder to score. This might be the most highest scoring game in the series. Now, that probably won't be the case because I just said it. But if it plays out the way I'd suspect, I don't expect many games to have 6 goals. I'd expect 3-2, 2-1, 3-1 results going forward. I think both teams are going to tighten up. I think both teams are going to assess what they did well, what they did wrong in Game 1. And I think you're going to see a much tighter series going forward. And both goalies were not as good as they could have been. And I think that's clearly obvious. Tukarask, not his best game. I really thought he didn't have a lot. They didn't test him enough for him to get the opportunities to make up for the 2 goals against. But I'm not holding the Tarasenko goal against him. The Schenn goal, I think I would like to see him play a little more aggressive. Does he make the save if he plays it more aggressive? Maybe not, but I would have liked to see him a little more aggressive there. As for Binnington, he 100% should have saved the McAvoy shot. The rest of them, you really can't blame him for. But Binnington, if anything, had a decent game, in my opinion. He wasn't going to save the Crowley shot. The Clifton was a backdoor pass. You're not going to really save that. So Binnington, you really can't blame him as a Blues fan. You really just got to blame your team for losing energy after the first period and just getting outplayed, downright outplayed. And that's about all I have for thoughts on the game, but I do have some actually advanced stats here to the right. And by advanced stats, I mean just chances for percentage. The second line for the Bruins, Krejci, DeBrusk, and Backes, actually had a monster night. All of them above 75% Corsi. The Blues only had one person above 60%, and that was Vladimir Tarasenko. The Bruins had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 guys over 60% Corsi, but I really didn't feel like putting them on the screen like I usually do because the Bruins outshot the Blues by so much. It was really a full team effort, which is why so many Bruins players have such good Corsi and so many Blues players have bad Corsi. But really though, as a Bruins fan, what is there to complain about here? You have a 4-2 home victory. Your team came back after going down 2-0. The Bruins have such great fight back in them. They have all year. They've had for the last 2 years, really. Some really good resiliency and ability to come back when things look dire. And I believe in this team. And I think if you're a Bruins fan, you should believe in them too. And they're only 3 wins away from winning the Stanley Cup final. I can't believe I'm making a video saying that. It's surreal. I know I am a Boston sports fan, so I should be used to winning. But really, I mean, at the beginning of the season, if you told me I'd be making videos for the Bruins in the Stanley Cup, I believe you a little, but at the same time, I'd be like, really though? Is this the year? But like, man, it's just insane to be here right now and to be 3 wins away from the Cup. I hope I can make 3 more videos talking about Bruins wins, because then I'd be a very happy Bruins fan, to say the least. Hopefully more of the same in Game 2. If I want to see one thing that would be a little better out of the Bruins is I want to see the first line get on the board, not Brad Marchand getting the empty netter, because that's one thing you got to think about is the Bruins won this game without a single non-empty net point tonight out of the big 3. Pasta, Bergeron, and Marchand. So hopefully they can get on the board in Game 2, and the Bruins can keep home ice advantage through the first 2 games and put a lot of pressure on St. Louis. Right now, I'm still thinking Bruins in 6, but if we win Game 2, I think I'm going to go Bruins in 5. But thank you for watching if you watched it to this point. If you like my video and my analysis, hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe down below on the red button. It supports the channel. It makes people see it more, and you'll get notified when I post videos. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts on the game and games going forward. Love to hear your thoughts. I reply to all of them because I don't get a whole lot of comments. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you for the Game 2 video on Thursday. Game's Wednesday night. I'll put it out Thursday afternoon, Thursday night. And thank you for watching as always. I'll see you next time. Peace.